The Los Angeles Lakers are 10-14 since their in-season tournament victory, while the New York Knicks are 14-2 in their last 16 games and are on a league-leading 8-game win streak, even with Julius Randle being injured. They have a loss margin of a total of 8 points in their 2 losses and have been dominating their opponents since. Today we talk the Los Angeles Lakers struggles and the New York Knicks success, overall discussing the rapidly changing thing that is known as the NBA. Let's start with the positives and talk about the Knicks, and then we're going to talk about the Lakers in the second half of this video, so please be sure to stay tuned to the end so I can hear your guys' opinions in the comments below. First thing we got to talk about with the New York Knicks is OG Anunoby, and then we're going to talk about Jalen Brunson, then we'll talk about Julius Randle, we'll talk about some role players, then we'll talk about the year playoff path, playoff picture, whatever you want to call it. So the Knicks are the 3 seed. I don't know if that's a shock to you guys. To me, it definitely is. OG Anunoby's impact on defense shows so clearly both on and off the ball. His ability to recover on dead plays, his ability to stop everything from the wing to the inside is so powerful. He is able to take pressure off the bigs, and he's even able to take pressure off weak side help in important moments. OG is like a stabilizer pin for this team, and he has been very, very efficient on both sides of the ball since joining New York. On offense, he is being used somewhat interesting, but I do enjoy that they're not doing too much and they're not doing too little. Obviously, we heard some murmurs that when OG was in Toronto that he wanted a bigger role, but he seems very comfortable where he's at. We've seen sometimes he gets drawn plays where he's instantly slicing into the paint and diving at the rim. We've also seen plays where he's getting handoffs or dribble handoffs, and I just love how unselfish he is on offense. As I mentioned, his usage, it's not too much, it's not too little. There is really a perfect happy medium here. And I like that just because they went out and traded for him and used a lot of assets for him, it doesn't mean they're overworking or overdoing him. In his 14 games with the New York Knicks, he's averaging around 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 steals a night, with a block as well. And from 3-point land, he's shooting just under 40% from 3 on 5 attempts a night. All in all, OG has been amazing, but no one deserves more flowers than Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson has definitely excelled into the superstar conversation. He has really just bloomed into a leader, which is the thing that I love the most. Last season, even the beginning of this season, we talked a lot about how the Knicks have a 1A and a 1B. I feel like that talk has died down. It's pretty clear and pretty obvious to me, at least, that Jalen's the number 1 guy, and that doesn't take anything away from Julius. Julius is still a hell of a player. He's a great rebounder. Sometimes he's a little inefficient, but that's neither here nor there. Jalen Brunson's leadership skills have bloomed, which will prove to be, moving dividends come playoff time, I believe. And it's not only just in the way he scores or passes the ball. His paint touches look better. His pick and roll, he looks 10 times more comfortable, and defenses have a really hard time figuring him out. His pull-up 3, they have nearly doubled in attempts per night since last year, and he's still shooting around 41% from 3. I mean, this man is just dangerous, as Baker Mayfield would say. And I really can't say enough great things about Jalen and him just leading this team. Obviously, Josh Hart loves to play with him. Dante DiVincenzo loves to play with him. Just a few quotes I want to share about Jalen's actual leadership. I think it was an interesting quote after a blowout win against the Denver Nuggets. Jalen said, "That's a really good team. I think we caught them on a bad night. Not a typical of them, but a win's a win." I do love how he's staying level-headed and understanding this is the regular season, and New York Knicks and the New York Knicks fandom, they have a lot to prove and a lot to conquer. I also like when he was talking about OG Anunoby, he just gives him his flowers where they're due. He said, quote, "He makes life a lot easier. He can switch 1 through 5. It looks effortlessly when he plays out there defensively, so what he's been able to do has been special." This obviously goes back to my point in talking about OG's impact. Now, obviously, you can't talk Knicks without talking Julius Randle. Now, Julius has missed some time with his injury, but I do love that when Mitchell Robinson went down for what we do believe is the season, that Randle stepped up and was much more aggressive on the rebounding side of the ball, which also leads me to give flowers to Isaiah Hartenstein. Isaiah Hartenstein made me a fan the last couple years. He always plays with such great tenacity. He's always so big down low, no sus. And I just really do enjoy watching guys like him. I love watching Deuce McBride. Dante DiVincenzo has been a flamethrower from three. In the month of January, he attempted around 9.5 threes a game, and he's shooting 42% from downtown. On the season, he's attempting 6 threes a night while shooting 40%. So the clip's gone up, but the clip stayed just as efficient. Guys, the role players are rolling. Jalen Brunson is a hell of a superstar. Julius Randle looks great. They don't have Mitchell Robinson. OG Anunoby looks amazing. Josh Hart plays his role super well. But what does this mean when the playoffs come around? So as the 6th seed, if the season ended today, they would first the Indiana Pacers. As the season plays out, I would imagine they're going to match up with a team like the Sixers, the Cavs, or the Pacers. I think they would beat the Pacers. I think they would beat the Cavs. I think the Sixers game would, or the Sixers series would go, either way. But what does that mean if they get past them and then they play someone like the Celtics or the Bucks? If they play the Bucks, I do like the Knicks in that matchup. It sounds really kind of hysterically crazy, or maybe it doesn't, but I do. I think that I like the matchup against the Celtics more today than I did at the beginning of the season, but the Celtics are just so good, and they have a lot of great bodies they can throw at Brunson and at Randle, so I guess I'm not really 110% sure where they end up, but I do say, for the first time in a long time, I don't think the New York Knicks are going to be first-round exits. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Let's touch on the Lakers real quick. First thing for me with the Lakers, they're messing up key wins, and this just shows the lack of heart, and it shows that the morale is at an all-time low. As we speak, the Lakers are 24-25, tied for the 10th seed in the Western Conference. They lose a game against the injured Hawks. They lose a game against the Rockets. They get a great win in overtime against the Warriors. Then they drop the ball against the Clippers. They lost by 20. 18-point loss to the Nets. They lost to the Grizzlies. This team, I could talk about them forever. I think one of the biggest issues with this Lakers team is they cannot decide what the hell is going on with this team. They talk about trading D'Angelo's Russell. It's very apparent they were talking, maybe getting a guy like DeJounte Murray. We heard rumors about DeMar DeRozan. Funny enough, we hear rumors about, I'm laughing at it because it's so stupid. Donovan Mitchell, guys, you're not getting Donovan Mitchell. Anywho, the consensus was that we were going to trade away, or we as Lakers fans, we're going to trade away D'Angelo Russell. Let's look at his last, we'll call it 10 games. 39-point performance against the Jazz, 14 against the Thunder, 29 against the Mavs, 20 against the Nets, 34 against the Blazers, 27 against the Clippers, 29 against the Bulls, 28 against the Warriors, and 23 against the Rockets. Then he had a big fat dud against the Hawks and dropped 9 points. So D'Angelo's playing well, but they can't make up their mind if they want to sell when it's hot or if they want to keep him and try to let things roll. And I feel the same way about Darvin Ham. To me, it seems like there is such a lack of respect for Darvin Ham in that locker room from LeBron and Anthony Davis. And Christian Wood now is beefing with him. Not that Christian's opinion matters like LeBron and Anthony's do. But on a championship contending a team, a championship roster, you will never, and I mean never, win an NBA championship if you do not respect the guy at the helm. Look at how the Warriors talk about Steve Kerr during his run. Look at how the Spurs talked about Greg Popovich during theirs. Look at how the Nuggets talk about Mike Malone, how the Heats talk about Eric Spoelstra. Your players got to be willing to die for your coach, and vice versa. The coach has got to be willing to put his ass on the line for the Lakers. Or any team really. It seems like Darvin Ham just isn't that, and I don't really know why they're continuing it with it. But what do you guys think? What do you make of this video? What do you make of the Knicks? What do you make of the Lakers? Let me know in the comments below if you made it this far. I appreciate your support as always. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. Stay happy, healthy, and blessed. Peace.